geez. Okay, well, hello. See, I'm laughing at a joke. The video hasn't even started. I'm sorry. I just filmed this entire video, um, and it was all deleted. So, actually, it wasn't deleted. The audio wasn't detected. So I'm gonna try this again. We're gonna try it again. It's okay. Hello. My name is Marie-Antoine. I'm so happy that you're joining me. Welcome back. If you're not back, you're not back. Nobody saw that first video, which good. I can't even rewatch that, so it's okay. But I actually have written notes this time. Don't look at them. I'm about to say them all. But yeah, so if the title drew you in, welcome. This is The Abuse Was Inevitable. This is just something that's been on my mind. I recently drove home 4 hours in the car with just me, my music, and my thoughts, and a whole lot of traffic and cat noises. So I had a lot of time to think this through, and this is kind of what I came up with. But first and foremost, I kind of wanted to give like an overview. This is Mango Riddle. This is kind of like the brainchild that I had during 2020 when I started writing poetry. And where we are right now is we are still writing poetry. And over this past summer, I kind of had a month of expression where I spent a month just kind of publishing my poetry on Instagram. That was really fun just because it kind of was like a mental exercise of perseverance. And I succeeded, so I'm very happy about that. But right now, I think that something that I should be pursuing is kind of working towards poetry submission and live readings. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. But I also want to lead into the kind of persona of being mari-Antoine. As you can see, I don't have my necklace or my ring on. I'm kind of trying, create an alter ego sort of to lean into all of that. So that's what I'm going to be moving into. Another thing about poetry is it is a practice of honesty, and honesty is coexistent with protection. Does that make sense? I just mean that honesty flourishes when you feel safe. So I want to make sure that I'm, writing poetry, creating poetry in places where I feel safe, sharing it in places that I feel safe, and making sure that I am fostering those kind of environments so that I can make good poetry. So yes. Moving into kind of the topic of the video, something that I'm working through this year is really just experiencing the most difficult year of my life. It was extremely draining, extremely trying. There were moments where I felt the lowest I've ever felt in a long time, maybe not even my whole life, but just in a long time. And yeah, I wouldn't wish not any of the bad experiences that I've had this year on my worst enemy. And I feel like something that I'm working through also growing up as a child who grew up in kind of abusive environments is something that Robert Greene brought up, which is the Chekhov idea of, I'm not sure if this is I don't think this is the exact words that he used, but kind of the inevitability of his father's conditions creating someone that would be abusive. So something that Chekhov thought of was that his father, who was someone that was in a low class, who was an alcoholic, who came home and beat his family, was that it was inevitable for someone in his position to be abusive. And when I think of my own situation of being a Black young woman in America, child of Haitian immigrants, all of these things, I feel like a lot of my experiences and the things that I have similar with other Black, young, Haitian American women is a lot of our hard experiences in life. And kind of like James Baldwin said, um, these experiences, we can use them to tie and connect to one another and also grow if we would like to, if we don't want to recreate those same patterns of hurt and abuse. And of course, there are also good moments and amazing experiences that I came from through my past family experiences, but neglecting the bad, ignoring the bad, in adoration of all the good that happened is almost an abandonment of yourself. It's not allowing you to understand every part of yourself. Um, and this year I'm like saying this. I don't know how much I can mince my words on like YouTube videos, but something that I dealt with was actually being essayed by a partner. And I know Ray, with one of her songs, it's called Ice Cream Man, when she performed at the Royal Albert Hall, she described the statistics. I didn't fact this, check this, but it was 1 out of 4 men and women experience SA in their life. And it's a hard statistic to work through and think about, but I'm someone that really values connection with other people. And I even remember back in high school when I think it was a friend of a friend, told me that, one of my teachers or my professors said, oh, she could do blank if she wasn't so boy crazy. Like, I don't even remember the exact term, but if she wasn't so boy crazy, she could do da da da. And, like, first of all, that's crazy. Shoot me, I'm boy crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm just a girl. Like, I'm a young girl, hormones are raising. But even right now, like, I feel like I'm someone that's always had that kind of like sensual energy. And especially with our society being so prim and proper and, uptight or whatever, I feel like a lot of the times this is something that it's not like I curated in my life. Like, I have this edge to me. It's just something that's been like ingrained in who I am. And when you have when you're someone that just like, I do love men. Like, I love the ways that we are socialized differently, and then the way that our brain works, and even not necessarily the way your brain works, but the way that you work through issues because of how you're socialized. Like, I'm just intrigued by that. So of course I dabble in this. I'm just a girl. Like, I just love, like hearing other people's perspectives and stuff. So yeah, I'm a little boy crazy. And when you think about statistics like that and you consider, having multiple experiences with men, at a certain extent, you start to feel like, I've had XYZ, so many good experiences, they have to be offset by bad experiences. And that's not necessarily the case, and I hope it's not the case, and I wish I'm not trying to put blame on any victims of anything, but I think for me, being able to think in that way allows me to kind of release the shame and guilt that comes along with it, because you kind of think through the way that some men are raised and the toxic things that they internalize, and it really has nothing to do with you, but it's inevitable of their condition. And if you don't make active steps to try to undo that. That isn't to say everyone, it's a straight path, but sometimes it's been comforting for me to think of things that way, and sometimes that the abuse, it just was inevitable based on those things. Something during this period of life that I've been so blessed with is actually like my relationship with my close friends. They have been hitting me up. They've been sending me memes. They've been dragging me out the house. They've been encouraging me to go to this, go to that. And it's been so good for me because I really think that I do love interacting with other people. Like I said, I love hanging out with people. It brings me so much joy. And I think it's different than like my last video where I was really spending a lot of time by myself working through my own issues and thinking about my family situation, how it affected how I held myself, how I carried myself, you know, what I thought about myself. And it's just different ways of dealing with stuff. Sometimes you retreat into yourself and sometimes you just let yourself be lost in a crowd. And I've been losing myself in a couple crowds, and honestly it's been better than just sitting in my room depressed. So yeah, I have so much deep love and admiration for my friends right now, but it's just different. You know, and life is shifting right now, and it's not necessarily bad shift, it's just different. And I'm just trying to lean into, you know, continuing to be loving, continuing to, you know, have hope for the world, have hope for others, because it is a crazy time that we're living in. I understand that. It's a crazy time that we're living in. Yeah. But, you know, the one-on-one connections that we have with people is so important. And yeah, I'm just trying to lean into that. Definitely leaning into my muses, the Nina Simones, the Bell Hooks, the Nikki Giovanni. All condolences to her family, of course. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So if you stayed and listened this whole time, thank you. I love you, maybe, you know. But I hope you have an amazing night, evening, day, whatever. Stay blessed, stay great, and thank you for listening. This was Mari-Antoine.